is the perfect thing in this day. This won't be too long of a vid. One, because it's a story that's very self-explanatory. Two, apparently the ragweed's bothering me this summer, so that sucks. Allergies is one of the things I mentioned in the what's hard about summer, spring, and eventually I'm going to do it about fall. Because if the senses are affected by allergies, like sense of smell, your ears are clogged, it affects the visually impaired person. Sometimes. Maybe just me, because I'm a highly sensitive person with a visual impairment. I know, very interesting. Today, I'm going to switch gears from what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about a bad stage of faith with a visual impairment, because it's faith journeys with RP, versus a good phase. That was going to be the video. I might do that later this week, because I missed last week, because I wasn't into making a video last week, because I was busy with stuff at my church, and I just didn't feel like it that Monday. You know, that mental health deal where you're like, nah, I'm not going to make a video. Plus, I'm not a YouTuber that earns money, so it's not a career. It's like kind of an outlet, place I can vent and just have people watch these, so it's like a video diary or just a venting place. So today's video, I know, get to the point, Randy. Today's video would be my journey with Social Security so far. I'm going to tell the story from beginning to end as short and sweet as I can. Because it's not over yet, and it's juicy at the end. Like, the end's gonna be juicy, because I'm telling this story today, because there's an update on it today. So, when I was in high school, I had a caseworker at Mass Commission for the Blind. So, like a Mass Commission for the Blind agent. They are pre-occupation and rehab, which basically just means just getting you into the world. I don't know why they call it career rehabilitation, because it's like, what am I rehabilitating from? The fact that I have a disability and I need to figure it out? It's not like I, just recently got this disability and I had to rehabilitate back into life. I guess some people who get into Mass Commission, like, get either unique cases of going blind or losing vision, or they need to keep rehabilitating because they have RP or progressive visual impairment or blindness. But it's like, you're gonna call it rehabilitation for everyone, even people that have had the disability their whole life? I suppose it works for me because, excuse me, it's a hay fever, I'm telling you. Post-surgery, with my vision going back to where it was prior to surgery, it's like, yeah, maybe I do need to rehabilitate in this society. So, my caseworker in high school is like, you can apply your daughter to my parents for Social Security, SSI, supplemental security income for disabled people. Now, and when she's 18, she can get money. And we didn't think we needed that for two reasons. One, I was doing well in school, and I was on track to work with kids or eventually get a part-time job. Because by this point, I didn't have surgery yet, so I was used to my vision. I had the same vision for they approached my parents when I was like 16. 16 years, eventually 18 years when I graduated high school and started working in daycares. And we just didn't think anything of it because I have a visual impairment, but it's on the higher functioning end of visual impairment, where it's like I'm right on the border of just being a person with low vision or slight and visual impairment quirks. So we didn't think much of it. And once I got the eye surgery my first year of college, the end of 2019, and I got the improvements and noticed the improvements in 2020, right before COVID shut us down, we didn't think anything of it. We're just like, okay, she's going to keep trekking along. She's going to get her associate's degree. I was thinking just going straight into early childhood. And by the end of 2022, because of COVID, I was taking 3 years to do a 2-year degree. That's fine. COVID shut down the daycares, so I couldn't do my field placement practicum, so that's why. Really, the field placement's really literally the only reason it took 3 years. I know, I don't have to defend myself. Then I went to Gordon College to transition into children's ministry, which could have worked in a couple ways. I could work in a daycare, maybe a Christian one, maybe not, and be a part-time children's minister at a church. That was my new goal going into Gordon. So I went into Gordon, I did that, still thinking nothing of it. And then the Manchester incident happened. That was like literally the summer after I graduated. I got this job. I had some other problems. I talk about that in mental health videos. Because this story, we're going to get into that piece soon. And I realized, oh crap, my vision changed when I got home. Not during that experience at that girl Chloe's house. I was thinking, okay, my night vision wasn't as good as I thought. I need to just reassess and just chill and try to adapt my life here in Manchester based on not being able to see walking down a dark driveway, which no one should have to do even if they have perfect night vision, because come on. People saw significantly more than I did? Seriously? How did you guys... It's because they lived their whole life barely seeing, and they can do it. I didn't, and my night vision was also regressing. And that's the complexity of this. This is where you get back into the Social Security. Not only was my night vision regressing, it's actually still holding better than it was before surgery. I do still have some, and I have light sensitivity that helps, although sometimes it hinders. It mostly helps, though. Not only that, when it comes to it regressing, I didn't have perfect night vision for the first 19 years of my life, so I didn't know how to use it properly. So maybe if I had that even with it regressing, I'd probably see a little better or know how to utilize it better. I don't know. And number 3, also, COVID. What's COVID got to do with it? We were locked down in quarantine. The 7 years I was able to have improved vision, at least 3.5 or 4 of those. I didn't really get much time to use it, practice it, learn how to, learn how the new improvements work, and my brain connecting the positive abilities from my retina to real-life scenarios, because we were in lockdown. So there are at least 3 macro factors. There are some minor factors. So when I got home from Manchester, I realized this and had it confirmed upon me at a doctor's appointment that December, but I kind of knew, oh my gosh, my vision changed that October. So what I did is I was doing church ministry and trying out this volunteer thing at a thrift store. The first couple months when I got back, late August into early October, I was looking for other jobs because my parents were like, you're gonna get a job if you come home from this negative job experience. But then that shift gears to Social Security. So this was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, my mom and I mostly, my dad was involved in conversations too, were discussing applying for Social Security. Again, they brought up the whole, you could have already applied, you could have gotten started at 18. We didn't want to because I didn't think I had to. I thought I had a good thing going. I thought my aspirations and goals were reasonable. And you're looking at the story like, did your surgery do anything good, or did it just frick stuff up? Well, it prevented me from going blind, and it prevented my vision from degenerating past the vision I previously started with. So it shouldn't go worse than the first 19 years visual impairment state. So there are positivities, although, no, I do have concerns in the back of my head. Who doesn't have what ifs? Who doesn't? But we decided to apply for Social Security in the fact that, seriously, someone with a visual impairment that got improvements that's now experiencing regression, that's not causation for at least applying, and maybe she has a part-time job and has benefits. Seriously. So we applied, and I submitted the documentation from that December appointment that confirmed I was regressing back a smidge. They don't detect as major on the tests as I'm experiencing, which I'm not sure if anyone else relates. But oof. I get it. No, the tests can't fully measure real life scenarios, but whatever. So I submitted that. I think in February they rejected my claim for Social Security. And they explained that there are rules as to why. The rules are your peripheral has to be a significantly bad enough visual field. I don't have the numbers in front of me to be considered legally blind according to them. And your bad eye has to be like 2100, 2200, but your good eye also has to be in the 2000s. You tell me I can't have a good eye and get Social Security? Are we freaking kidding me? Are we going to war or what? I know Israel, there's something going on. Ooh, I gotta watch the news, I'm sorry. I know I gotta watch the news on Israel because something crazy going on. Well, we going to war? That plane sounded hecka low, bro. That was low. So my good eye has to be worse than it is right now. It's like, I know Social Security is trying to make sure people don't get benefits when they could be working, or they're just being lazy bumps on a log. Like people who were like leeching off the government during COVID, and some people are still leeching off unemployment because no one wants to work terrible wage jobs, and there's still places that are short-staffed as heck. Don't get me started on they're not hiring people and they require experience at an entry-level job. You need experience. What if you're like a 15-year-old trying to get their first job? You require experience? I'm going on a tangent now. So, the requirements required my peripheral to be worse, which I think I checked that box now. But my good eye, which my good eye can be 20/70 on a bad day, 20/60 without glasses, and almost 20/50, 20/60, depending on the day, with my glasses on. So it's like, but I'm not used to being able to only read and function with one eye. Girl, I know my right eye can see 2100, 2200 on a horrible day. But dude, I'm not used to functioning with one eye. So, yeah, not sure how Social Security takes in consideration a unique situation where you start with visual impairment, you get surgery, it regresses back to your old visual impairment, but you're so used to the improvements that it's like, what? 7 years. Here's a factoid for you visually impaired people who don't know. 7 years is the length of time to establish and kind of encapsulate in your brain and how you function in life visual memory. It's like similar to every 7 years your taste buds change a little and you like certain things and you don't like certain things. You're establishing a taste preference memory in your sense of taste. I don't know how that works with ears or nose. They probably have memory as well. Touch. I feel like that's whole life. But you establish visual memory. I had improved vision for almost 7 years. It was pretty close. It was like 6.5. Long enough to establish visual and habitual memory. Like muscle memory, because the eyes are an organ, also they're muscles. So I had visual memory, and then it's regressed, and it's still regressing. The first year regressed every month. This year I think it's every few months. There's just a new... I'm not sure if it's a full-blown regression or my brain's recognizing, ooh, yeah, that's been happening, but we're noticing it more now that it's been a pattern. I think that's more of it. So I got rejected last February, I believe. I appealed. I submitted more information about my visual impairment. They asked for my parents and I to submit, like, written explanation-based evidence. And my parents submitted, like, their personal testimonials. We got more information from my physician. Thinking, okay, we just had to appeal. Sometimes you have to appeal. There are a few people with visual impairments and blindness that have had to appeal. I got rejected again. I was going to a doctor's appointment that December, so I've got December and a year from that first doctor appointment, another December appointment. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to appeal and say that I'm going to this December appointment and tell them I'll submit an update, because my vision was regressing every month. So surely the doctor's going to notice something. And maybe their report can bypass the rules. And I had reason to believe my peripheral was close to where it was first 19 years with my visual impairment. And that peripheral visual field matched the rules of Social Security. There is that risk of you needing to match the peripheral and acuity rules. Really. So I need to barely read. I need to barely be able to read to get Social Security. Are you insane? Because I could show the world through jobs I've attempted at and areas of my volunteer job at the thrift store where I can't do it. Not just because of my acuity and my peripheral. There are other issues to people with LCA, the cousin of RP, that's just like, no. So I went to the eye doctor. And they said, yeah, we see a little bit more dark spots where you detect peripheral issues on your retina. Your acuity was the same in both eyes. Okay. A slight dip in your right eye. Okay. I'm here for the peripheral. Honestly, I don't think my acuity's changed that much. Now my stigmatism and like sometimes like trying to read without my glasses, yeah, that's a bit different. That's just like aging and some of the acuity I had I did have improvements, but it's back to normal, whatever. I'm not going to get worse. But your peripheral seems more stable based on last year. And I'm thinking, what? I'm experiencing a change. You only detected a slight difference in the dark spots in my retina. Dark spots in your retina. That's creepy. Think about it. There's dark spots in our retinas when we have peripherals. It's like, my eye is so bright and beautiful. What is going on behind the lenses? That's creepy. Honestly. Small tangent. If you see a picture of the retina, if you're able to see it on the big screen they have at the eye doctors, oh my god, it's kind of creepy. It's like a bunch of white, gray, and some black fibers, and there's like this electroid, like, I think it's a light wave, but it looks like a bolt of lightning, and there's like mini bolts of lightning. I don't know, kind of looks like teeth being electrocuted. I don't know, this is kind of creepy. And they're like, oh, we could write a letter, but more than likely you have to go by Social Security's rules. There's not much we can do. I'm like, okay. The doctor did validate my struggles, and he acknowledged my issues, and he understood that I was a bit emotional. Although he's like, to my mom, why are you crying? It's like, because this is bullcrap. Because my dad said, I don't care what the doctor said. I don't care what they saw in those charts. This is bullcrap. Her peripheral's different. She's different. Her confidence is different. When she walks in the rooms, it's different. They did detect a difference in my night vision, that it's going back to the way it was, but it wasn't quite there yet. It's at like 4.3 instead of 4.8. I was close to 5, which is good. So it's not like 0.5 or 1.0, which was what I had before. So I think now it's more like 4.0, 4.2, because it's regressed more. But I don't have a dark adapted test in front of me. And I don't want to have to do that, because I might do it on myself 5 times per eye, which is crazy. I think I did a rant video on eye tests, and I did like a video just on the dark adapted test, because I needed to get that stinking stuff out. That test is torture. So, it led up to a month ago. A month ago I called Social Security, because my second appeal with the submission of my current eye doctor reports and letters from the doctor, they weren't doing crap. And I also wanted to submit my willingness to do mental health psych evals. I didn't want to do the psych evals of Social Security, because I didn't think my anxiety and depression factored in with my visual impairment enough, and I figured they're just like, it comes and goes, it ebbs and flows. It's a disorder because of my visual impairment that's not really a disability. But then I tried a job. I think I mentioned that library job, and I was teary the second day, and the third day I was horrible. I even took video evidence. Never uploading that to YouTube. No, you do not want to see that. It's not just embarrassing, it's bad. So, they said, oh, 15 days, your caseworker will get back with their decision. And here the hoodly-doo-doo we are 1 month later. And I called them today. And this is the juicy part of the video I was talking about 22 minutes ago. Don't worry, this video will not go over 30 minutes. Please, no. I called Social Security. Ended up getting the Linfield office. But whatever, I talked to a guy. Then he sent me to DDS in Maryland. So I was basically calling someone in Washington, because they figured it would be deferred to disability decision services. Oh, he thought I think he thought I needed to see if they decided it's considered a disability. Nah, man, I have a certificate of blindness. Even has the state flag insignia on it, dude. So that lady was Oh boy, I should do a separate story time on that, because she was, like, slow and kind of mean. It's like, Happy Wednesday! So she brought me back to the Lynn office, and that lady was nice, and she's like, I don't know why your case is pending. I don't know why you haven't gotten status yet. I don't know why they haven't submitted a decision for you yet. Call Linfield again. I'm like, okay. She gave me a number. It was to Medicare. I'm like, what? Like, I had to sit through an ad on, like, a breathing device and the emergency I fall and I can't get up button and stuff. I'm like, this is Medicare. And I looked up the Lynn numbers again, and they were the same numbers I called, and I'd probably get the same people again. So here is what I decided to do about my Social Security. And sometimes visually impaired people and blind people, mostly visually impaired people. I don't know how many actual blind people have to do with it. Some of them can work, some of them just get it. I appealed twice. Some people could just keep appealing and appealing and appealing. I can't because they haven't rejected me yet, because my freaking Social Security has been pending for half a year. I'm not even joking. They haven't rejected it. I've given them data. I'm willing to take a psych eval. I haven't yet. They have my information from my therapist and my psychiatrist and my physician proving that I have anxiety, depression. They could give a record for what happened in June, because oh my gosh, even my psychiatrist was like, whoa, you triggered something. What's going on? My therapist was like, whoa, yeah, let's talk about this. So, the decision for Social Security could be summarized in 4 words. I needed to count the words in my head. Okay. See you in court. No, visually impaired people, thanks to the dawn of Zoom, thanks to the dawn of phone calls and technology, you do not necessarily need to physically end up in a courthouse or a courtroom office or a judge's office or even a lawyer's office if you're going full remote. But I like using that expression, see you in court. Because why is my application still pending 6 months later? Even the agents are like, what is going on? So the next step is getting an attorney, a lawyer. I'm frugal. I'm scared. I know it's not going to be bad. I'm going to win. I'm going to get something. But even as a believer in Christ, it's like, I want the money. I want Social Security. Just give me something for all this pain and the fact that I had time wrestling between, maybe I should stop applying for Social Security and just see if God gives me a job. Maybe God wants me to step out in faith and not take the Social Security. I think he's doing the opposite. Taking the Social Security by faith and witnessing to people along the way. Maybe the attorney I get has to, hear the gospel. I don't know. It's weird. It's annoying. Because this dude gets paid if we win, dude. And if we lose, I don't get anything. So, I guess I have to take what I get. I'm a human too, even though I'm a Christian. I want money. I want it all to be mine. Sorry. But yeah, we're gonna throw the book at them. I said this video wasn't gonna be 30 minutes. I'm sorry. This story was important. I really wanted to get it out. Anywho, that's my Social Security story. I think I'm gonna tell another story video maybe later today. And it will be uploaded on a separate day of the experience I had on the phones, because it was funny. And oh, that lady at DDS was mean. I'm like, I don't want to deal with you. I hung up on her. My mom wanted me to call back. And when she realized I hung up on her, she's like, oh, no. I'm like, I didn't mean to make it awkward. She wasn't going to understand. She was slow, and she was kind of mean. So, anyway. It's okay if you need to throw the book at them, as long as you do it gracefully, nicely, and gently. So, this is my Social Security story. I think I'm going to just do another story video and give you a scripture in that next video. So, this is my Social Security update, saying that it's okay to struggle with this stuff, and if you need legal help, it's gotta happen. So, until a story time that will be shorter, I promise, bye for now.